Welcome everybody, you're watching the European Development Championships. We've got this winners match coming up right about now. It's Endpoint versus forZe, Josh, for a spot in the playoffs.
Absolutely, this is really the one to watch, isn't it? We were expecting a really one-sided affair with forZe versus Illuminar earlier on. We didn't quite get that. We saw a full 30-rounder, a map that Illuminar really should have been able to take. Then we were expecting a one-sided affair with Budapest 5 versus Endpoint, and we did actually get that. 16-8, really dominant performance over on Dust 2. And now this is, of course, the one to watch. It's going to be a really, really closely contested series. I do actually expect this to go the full distance. And I think on any normal day of the week, I would ever so slightly favour forZe in a scenario like this. But with the two stand-ins, and when you actually look at the last few times that these two teams have played up against each other, I think Endpoints might just be the slight favourite in this one.
Exactly. I would say the same as well. I think that Endpoint definitely have a good stylistic matchup here. And considering we see forZe come into this series with two stand-ins, Waro, who didn't really perform on that terrorist side, as we get over towards Mirage, that's actually forZe's pick. I'm really surprised by that. Train being Endpoints and then Inferno as a decider. I think that forZe might actually really struggle to get off a Mirage here against this Endpoint side. I'm actually really surprised. I would have thought that forZe would have gone towards Inferno as their pick instead of a Mirage. That just really, really kind of takes me off of base, to be honest.
I mean, luckily for them, they do get it in the third map, but that's if they can get there, yeah? Endpoint, of course, they play their first map of Train, then they go into that second of Mirage, and if they can snatch it away, forZe might not even get the opportunity to get onto that third and final. And as you look at those parry match odds at the bottom, they absolutely agree with us. Endpoint, the slight favourites going into this one, actually slightly more favourites than I thought they would be.
Yeah, and I think that's all off the back of forZe playing with stand-ins here today. I think that they obviously saw a pretty unconvincing matchup, especially that terrorist side of Mirage against Illuminar. We know that Endpoint put together a really big CT side, so you can see that surreal, crucial matchup with the AWPs, those double snipers, really big players as well, massive impact. And yeah, as you go onto those more AWP-heavy maps, that becomes an even more potent threat. That's why they're picking into Train at the end of the day, because of those double snipers, because of the ability to maybe even just put Mighty Max on a bomb site on his own with a little bit of sniper support perhaps, and really just take a series like this over the top. I think the Endpoint are gunning for the 2-0 here, and for forZe this will be an uphill battle.
Absolutely, yeah. With Waro on that forZe side, they do now have that double AWP potential. But as you say, that's something that Endpoint have and have always had. Crucial on that AWP. He is sensational. We saw him on Dust 2 doing incredible work. And then we also know that Surreal is capable of picking up that secondary AWP. Mighty Max even been known at times to pick up that AWP. So this is a really, really strong map for them. And yeah, Train really does accommodate their playstyle. As we look at this forZe roster again, obviously, those two stand-ins right at the end. Really do want to see them show up here. And Waro, he's actually in the good grounds to put up some fight, isn't he? With this AWP, with the starting off on the CT side as well on a map like Train, he could definitely put up some numbers.
Yeah, that's the one real scare here for Endpoint, of course. As they look to get towards these playoffs, of course, the winner already booking their spot, only having to play a single best of one and then a best of three. Much more value for money than going through a whole Swiss system, playing 3 or 4 best of threes, of course. I really do like the format, to be perfectly honest. Definitely gives us some more interesting Counter-Strike, especially here in Group A, where we've got some hotly contested teams. Obviously, I have 14-16 there. Illuminar just missing out on that winner's bracket. They'll have to play tomorrow, of course, in that losers matchup where they've got to take consecutive best of threes, otherwise they're out of the tournament. We're already into this one. You're watching the European Development Championship, all brought to you by Gaming Malta, home of gaming excellence. In with this pistol, Josh.
As we get kicking here.
It's an unsilenced USPS.
Yeah,
it's a
you
USP,
don't see that, do you?
no S.
Ever. Is he really going for that? That is a bizarre one. Alrighty, well. forZe kicking things off on this CT side, of course, that heavily preferred side here on Train. And Endpoint wrapping around for this A hit, pushing right up Ivy. This gets dangerous with these Glocks up close and personal.
Especially with the smokes to isolate both of these defenders. Power won't get checked, finding 2 and 3 kills, all headshots. Flames finally trains him. It's ever so slightly late. As the P250 does chime through, they've now got to deal with this lack of a silencer inside the pop dog. This is so weird from Waro. I wonder why he's doing this. Bomb isolated and forZe watching it. Endpoint, they have no idea where these defenders are playing from. And up close does take a tag into forZe. Shouldn't be too impactful. As Flames able to find another one, retrieving the USPS, such a dangerous man to be holding it, and now knows where both defenders are, allows him to get that bomb down, not in the open, but with Surreal covering him. This is really working out. We always talk about those AWPers and how good they are with the pistols, finally taken advantage of, as Flames tries to get towards the heaven, spotted out. Waro hard to tap with this one, but Jerry's able to bail him out of a lot of trouble there, and forZe will take their pistol.
Well, you'd really expect them to, wouldn't you, after C-Power with the big 3k? That would have been a real head-scratcher for him if they didn't convert it. Again, now. Look at this 3k. It's so messy, but Flames just picks up that trading headshot and just not able to claw it all the way back. forZe, they do take that lead. 1-0 here on Train, as Endpoint do go for an investment going into the second. Of course, they did get that bomb plant. They have got a fair amount of money to work with, but instead of going for this full Galil buy, they actually prioritize the utility. So pistols, utility, and AK, a Galil to work with. That Mac 10 on Surreal. Let's see what they do with it.
I've got to say, I'm getting a newfound appreciation for this HUD. I really do like it.
It is cool, isn't it?
I'll be honest, Josh. We do a lot of tournaments. We see a lot of messy, awful HUDs. This isn't one of them. This is very clean. Nice curvature of the boxes and everything. I'm happy.
Yeah, it is nice. And it's not too, like, broken as well. Sometimes I think the major issue is crazy broken HUDs that the teams are broken and don't switch a lot of the time and things like that.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. I agree.
The only thing that's disgusting looking that we have to look at this weekend is me and you.
Oh, yeah. Me and my dark circles and bags under my eyes.
Tired guy.
Always a tired guy.
Rather just be asleep. But we have got some really interesting Counter-Strike coming up. We're lucky to get Group A. I think it's one of the most hotly contested groups of the lot of them. This forZe could even work out. C-Power closed and taken care of by the Mac 10. This A bomb site, it's falling, along with the C4 as well. That's not gone down yet. And Robin wants to be able to hold this one up. That MP9 is so brutal, isn't it? As forZe also drops. What a convincing round for Endpoint. And considering they carried almost nothing into that one, what a successful pursuit. We expected forZe to take a massive CT side. It's going to be a lot harder without stringing together the initial 3 that they did in both halves on Mirage.
It absolutely is. It's really a worst case scenario, especially for a CT side, to win the pistol and then lose the follow-up. That actually forces them right down to an eco here, so Endpoint more than likely will be able to take the lead. And as you said, Group A, one of the most hotly contested groups in this tournament, and I completely agree. What makes a really strong group is actually when you have 3 teams, there's only 2 spaces that can qualify through, and as I say, you've got those 3 sides that are absolutely capable of doing so. We saw Illuminar in that match earlier against forZe take it 16-14. It was so close. If forZe actually lose this one and we see a repeat matchup of that, we could almost certainly see Illuminar going through. All comes down to how this series plays out, and a nice opening headshot from Flame going to give them some leg room to work with towards this B site, and they should just be able to completely blitz this one. This full eco not paying any dividends whatsoever. It's only C-Power to find himself some damage dealt, but no more frags. An Endpoint, they get themselves 2-1 up.
Here are those power match odds. Endpoint still firm favourites. That's on this map. Their map, of course, and starting on the T side, getting that bounce back round and very convincing follow-up as well. That's exactly what you'd expect. forZe failing to put anything up early off the bat. I think once they get the double AWPs in the hands of Waro and C-Power, that might all change.
Absolutely might, but right now they kind of jump the gun a little bit. They go for an early buy. That's going to be those for masses. It's lacking utility, certainly going to be problematic as well on this CT side. That nade coming in, that's going to blow the AWP just in a position where Flick can grab it. Renee's not making a whole lot of damage either. And Endpoint trying to feel around elsewhere. This isn't working out all too well for them. The FAMAS is actually finding a couple of frags, bringing things back into a 3-on-3. And Endpoint are left scratching their heads. They're kind of spread around this map. They don't really know what to go for here. And I think they might just default into an A hit.
Certainly seems to be the case. Do you have Warrow right here? Even numbers favors the T side. That's spreading the defense. Flit and Warrow playing this double set piece configuration on the CT side, but with Warrow eliminated, they need to rely on the AWP that's funnily enough in the hands of Flit. A 1 versus 2 now. They already know where he's playing from, and that flashbang's going to expose him in the open even further. He's both angles checked, but a crossfire placed for Endpoint means this is going to be so hard to get back into. Maybe the best angle for the job, or doesn't give itself away, but Mighty Max does. It's a headshot to finish, and Endpoint convert their third. Just as good as winning the pistol here.
Yeah, probably one of the worst weapons for the job. That AWP in a 2 versus 1, as you say. Yeah, winning that buy round, Endpoint, they're in a fantastic position. They do face up against just another really lackluster buy here from forZe. They are going to call a tactical timeout beforehand, but with 2.5k in the bank for every man, I think the best they can really invest into here is just a couple of deagles, perhaps, maybe a PT-50, a little bit of Kevlar. Could be justified on a couple of these guys, but of course they haven't even got the max loss bonus. After winning that pistol and then losing 3 in a row, I suppose they'll have it moving forward into the next. But right now, still at that 2,500 mark. Does mean there should be another freebie for Endpoint, and that's going to be a 4-1 lead, which is pretty fantastic.
Certainly is. I'm sorry, MJ. I'm just trying to translate a tweet that I got. Got a tweet that looks very angry, I'll be honest. I just need to translate it to English.
Looks angry. What, like a Twitter message or like a tweet?
It's a tweet. Somebody tweeted at me.
Oh.
It won't translate. I'm going to send it to you. You can see if you can work out what this says.
Okay.
Maybe you speak whatever language that is.
Where have you said? Okay.
3-1. We should be back into the action in the next couple of seconds. Whilst we're translating what I think is either Russian or Polish into English, we do have this short technical pause. Maybe the phantom TeamSpeak issues re-emerging. We always assume that it's TeamSpeak because I think as a piece of software, it seems to mess up more than most.
Doesn't work for me either. It says
no, I don't think it's a real thing.
Cebuano.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm gonna ask production. Imagine this. Production says don't try and translate it. So I'm not allowed to say this on broadcast, basically.
That was like a really like frantic kind of.
Yeah, it was like don't try. No. that was yeah. Okay, well we might be saved. I wonder why Google Translate doesn't work. Maybe he could type back what it is because I'm very interested now.
It's just too offensive. Google Translate.
This was sent to me by a pro player.
Oh no.
Or a semi-pro player.
Ah, all right.
Well, back into the action. Technical pause is resolved. It's forZe without much to work with in the terms of investment of this one. Definitely back some skill to play with. Warrow in this corner. Slow start to previous series. He's 0-3 thus far here on train. And I might just go 0-4 if he can't connect. Lovely little flip side. Deagly can't.
It's just another super convincing round from Endpoint. I think this one might actually be flawless. C-Power just all on his own. With this PT-50, I can't imagine he gets much done here.
Be able to do anything whatsoever. It's a flawless round in all consideration. 4-1, Endpoint. They're on a tear in these early rounds.
They absolutely are, especially after losing the pistol. You really do anticipate that they don't get off to the best of starts. And here on the T side of Train, you really do expect them to maybe take 6 at half time. At this point, they've already taken 4, and we're only in round number 6. They've got plenty of cash behind them. In fact, Mighty Max already on that 5-figure mark. This is where forZe really do need to try and get back into this one. And CPower opening things up quite nicely with that AWP heavy stack towards this A site too. This could be the round they need.
Could absolutely be the case, and with Crucial gone and already pop dog control re-established for Jerry, they should have no idea that he's playing in here. Z-Power aggressive, able to hit that second sliding shot, and with Flames low on HP, very unlikely going to trade this one out, as the double AWPs finally get retrieved for Waro. This is now in hand. C-Power playing up close and personal to this smoke. I wonder if Flames is just waiting for the pop flash. He certainly is. Look at him watching away. It's C-Power. Throws down a Molotov. That's perfect timing. And Flames might have his name for a reason, but can't sit within those. He's on low HP here, and instead wants to re-engage, and C-Power's not giving him any space to work with whatsoever. Back towards the A-bomb site. They've now got more pass positions for C-Power to find another one in the round. That's all 3 of these early frags for him. He even steps up with a quad kill.
What a round for forZe to pick up. Not just winning the round, but actually flawlessly too. Every man staying alive, that's going to build up that bank account, which is at a time that they really do need to. Allows them to grab a couple of AK-47s as well, pad out that utility. You've got to realize right now, Waro and forZe, they're the 2 stand-ins. They're both sitting on 0 frags. So if they step up, forZe could definitely start putting more rounds on the board.
Certainly could. Yeah. Just a slow stance. Minute 35 to play with. And Endpoint just holding the line in these early scenarios. It's Mighty Max up on top of this ladder. Good position to challenge against C-Power perhaps, but he definitely needs help from the AWP from down below. T-sides are hard to greet and break these ones, and especially, well, if they can find those opening frags, makes it a lot easier, and C-Power out the open. Jerry should go down as well, he does. Flames gets tagged and fragged, and Endpoint, not the best of positions, but Real slipping through this smoke is actually going to get challenged by Flit there. They seemed hyper aware of that one. And Endpoint kept it an arm's length away from this A-bomb site. Very funky round for many, many reasons. The smoke's all placed. There comes the double entry from Robin. That was supported by Crucial's flash. Beautiful utility placement leaves forZe looking on this A-bomb train. 40 seconds now, and this has been trading back and forth since the start. It's Crucial needing this shot. Doesn't have a lot of leg room here. Still just outside of this A main angle. They've spotted each other though. So forZe takes a different avenue of approach and grabbing that bomb. Needs to check these corners, but with a knife out, that doesn't work. AK back in hand, it definitely does. Headshot nailed, and forZe can't get the job done. Certainly a round he should have taken.
Crucial, such a talented player. As I mentioned in the previous map, even with those rifles in hand, you can find those headshots. And I mean, you called this one a funky round before this play that we're about to see. Look at this from Robin. Perfect flash from Crucial. Actually blinds both of the defenders. And he's able to just jump through the smoke, land 2 headshots, puts Endpoint's 5th on the board, and actually forces forZe down to no monies. They have got a full investment here, but if this one doesn't work out for them, Endpoint might even be able to pull away further, which, as I say, on this T side of Train is just insane.
Exactly what you're looking for. 5-2, forZe are already dead, and Endpoint seem to be just consistently going for this A-bomb site. They found a weakness, and they're now going to abuse it. They're not going to change it up until they're absolutely forced to. Flashbang over the top from Mighty Max. C-Power still connects. forZe heavily fortified this A-bomb site, but through these smokes, Mighty Max just takes a one-tap through, able to convert as well. This is just going all their direction. Flit through this smoke, the bomb goes down, and as it dissipates, Mighty Max is going to find another one. You look at some of these aim stars being beaten to the punch now. Flit, known as one of the best aimers in that CIS region, just getting beaten to the punch by Mighty Max multiple times. Now just the AWP, and there's a remote chance that C-Power can even save this, especially with Mighty Max just watching this corner. How does he get away with the sniper? Game of chicken. Who's going to cluck first? Looks like C-Power is going to keep the angle. They both get off it. Wrong timing. Spots the back. And where's this frag coming from? Should be a freebie with nobody to trade. As he wants even more here. Does Mighty Max ever turn? Probably not. Missed shot. Hawp still survives.
I talked about it before. Endpoint are a team that really do excite me. Of course, UKCS, it's been really lacking in the last few years. Throughout my whole career, I've wanted it. And, well, there's that Hellcase banner popping up on your screen. Make sure you use that code for that 15% refill bonus, the banner down below, too, if you want to head over to Hellcase. Make sure you gamble responsibly. Make sure you're 18.
There's also banners down below in that Twitch stream as well. You can click on them to go to any of our partners here for this tournament. 6-2. Endpoint finally changing up the pace. The bomb's still back towards the terrorist spawn and up against the pistols. They shouldn't be too worried about what forZe are carrying into this one.
Yeah, they really don't have to be. Of course, there's just no real money for them to work with here. So only C-Power's AWP, which they know carried across from the last. They are just going to go for this B here. That's really the last place that they expect this AWP to be, and they're absolutely correct. Mighty Max confirms it. That's going to be a free B bomb site, and I anticipate C-Power to just save this AWP right now. They've even got an AK to work with, so I actually think they just go for a full save here. Certainly the smart move to go for here for forZe, but it will allow a 7th on the board for Endpoint. That's far too many for your T side, and they've still got so many more to play with.
And money's been a big problem here from forZe since the very start. So here with an AK-47 in hand and that AWP as well, you'd be expecting them to want to retain those to the further rounds, gain that money as much as possible, because this eco cycle really has cost them a lot of rounds at this point. Endpoint going to be 7-2 up. Probably only a remote chance that they take away any of these rifles. They might not even effectively or efficiently go for it. Instead, just saving more players for themselves. That's going to build the money up once again. They can do massive economical pressure into these last 5 or 6 rounds of the half.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure applied here for forZe. This needs to be a turning point. They need to start pulling back some rounds now, try and take this half 8-7 perhaps, and then they've got a decent opportunity. If Endpoint just continue this reign of terror that they have been so far, forZe are in for some trouble. They do go for this double AWP setup. Jerry opened things up quite nicely with that HE grenade. Back into a 4-on-4, further damage dealt. This is going a bit better for them.
Yeah, shut away at the door completely. Warrior was able to finish off the last as well. Very effective round there from forZe. As Endpoint tried to go back to Old Faithful, doesn't work this time. Doesn't bail them out of trouble. Even if this is an 8-7 half in forZe's favor, that's still very hard. And those paramount odds from our partners are definitely reflecting that. Endpoint definitely firm favorites right now. Definitely a way back in for forZe. But as I said, Josh, earlier, I think the T sides for them are going to be the harder halves to pull over the top. We know that they're very used to having big CT sides, but unless they're able to get 12 or 13 on the board, I think they might still struggle. Even 10 or 11 might be a little bit of a stretch here on train for them, and well, that's already just impossible. The best that they can do is 8-7.
Absolutely, yeah. We really did see on Mirage as well, them struggling on that T side. A lot of mistakes were made. Here on this CT half, we're actually seeing that too. I think it only gets worse from here. Laura and Forrest are still only on a single kill each, and Mighty Max, he's just having fun right now, just tearing through these defenders.
That's also disgusting. He spots that shadow, knows he wants the pre-fire, and leaves Waro in such an unenviable position. Pre-fire doesn't nail. Oh, and the second no-scope. Could have bayoneted him out of the server, but doesn't work out, does it? Surreal. An 8th round on the board, and Endpoint already halfway towards this finish line. As you said, excited about seeing both teams take center stage here in Group A. We think that these are probably the better 2 teams that we've got in this group. I was really excited to see Illuminar play, obviously before a couple of tweets came in, Josh, but 8-3, and in Endpoint, this already looks like a solid lock. They're going to have to try pretty hard to lose this.
Absolutely, yeah. They're just looking like the better team right now. Waro really showcasing in that last round how temperamental those no-scopes can be, even at close range. I actually have no idea how that missed. That secondary no-scope right in front of him, should be aiming right at him, and somehow it just misses. That's just what happens. That's Counter-Strike for you.
CS 1.1.
Now, UKCS was so good back in 1.6 and Source as well.
We're coming back to the glory days.
Kings of the world. Yeah, exactly. So this is why Endpoint excite me so much.
That's because all of the good players go into casting.
Oh, yeah.
Our best players like Henry G and James Bardolph, some of the talents of the UK scene.
James Bardolph, yeah, he was one of my favourite pro players. That's a joke, of course. He's terrible.
No, just
I do love him.
Just a little joke. Just a little one.
Great caster, terrible player.
Well, Flame's going to find one in the meantime. There's the flash coming through. As opposed to us, with terrible casters and terrible players.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I haven't.
At least he's got one of the bases covered, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. That's what I'm working towards.
Tough to do. It's C-Power. Maybe if he finds one frag in that scenario below the bomb train, he maybe goes for it, but giving away this AWP doesn't make sense, and it feels like I've been watching C-Power saving this AWP forever, and looking at his picture, he doesn't look too happy about it.
He isn't, is he?
No, he's got that menacing, grimacing look.
Doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
What doesn't?
C-Power time.
I know, C-Power time.
It just doesn't.
Doesn't really have the ring. And they've already spotted him out as well, so can't even do the Jame. It's 9-3 Endpoint. They rip all of the rifles out of the server once again. It's back to eco territory here from forZe. I expect just a couple of Desert Eagles to come out here for round number 13. I don't think we always appreciate how beautiful that B-bomb site is.
Yeah, I mean, look at like the walls. Look at the decor.
Artwork.
Yeah.
The stars. Those are those MVP stars.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a bloodbath, isn't it? An absolute mowdown.
Yeah, that aggression didn't work from forZe at all. I like the idea. They did a fair amount of damage, but no kills whatsoever. It should just be another really, really clean round for them. And that's going to be double digits. Yeah, double digit T-side on train and an opportunity to extend that further as well. So it's double digits and beyond at this point. forZe, they are looking down in the dumps right now. This was close at the start. Of course, they took that pistol. We saw a couple of rounds sort of go back and forth. Not anymore. This is just domination. Oh my. How do they even know Flit's there?
That is unreal, isn't it? It's not like the flash had tagged him whatsoever. Maybe a couple of footsteps heard, perhaps. I've got no idea. That just seems to be next level game sense. Might have been some info there, but I'm really not sure. See Mighty Max pre-firing a couple of these angles. Previously, just spotting the shadow. We could see it on our screen. And when you're playing against an AWP, that's basically like a golden ticket there into the bomb site. You see the shadow, you get that spray down. Here's your Paramatch bonus, by the way, from our partners over there. You can click on the banner below the stream to go over to those Paramatch guys and take advantage of that $25 bonus.
Almost connecting that shot. There we go. As Flit to find Mighty Max either way. This utility. It does a tickle of damage onto Crucial. Not a lot, though. We saw Endpoint doing quite a lot of utility damage over on Dust 2. I expect to see the same when they move on to this CT side of Train. At this point, it's not looking like they'll actually have too much opportunity to play a CT side here on Train, though. Not many rounds left. 6 away from that magic number. Here in the 14th, they want to try and make it 5. (10-3). Just such a daunting scoreline to try and come back on. Luckily, it's not forZe's pick, but this half might even go even further Endpoint's direction. You never want to give them momentum in a series like this, and if you do, snatch it away quickly. Otherwise, they're going to take an absolute mile from the inch you give. It's Flames to find another headshot. These are basically all one-taps, Josh. Is Jerry, even though his position goes incognito, he's instantly just going to get absolutely annihilated. And all of these rounds have gone firmly Endpoint's way. I think that we might be seeing the damage that having a pair of stand-ins has done. forZe 2 in 11. Waro 5 in 11. Both trailing their teammates in this one. And that's good. Until very recently, they both had only a single kill. I think up until probably round 9 or 10. They've only found a couple of those in the last few. And they've been very unimpactful. There's going to be a save here. Definitely the right call, but only if you can actually carry them across. Foster's going to drop. And C-Power should be able to carry across this AWP. Yeah, Flames isn't going to be able to get him behind him in time. So that AWP carries across, but look at this. It's round number 15. Endpoint, they're already on to 11. That's far too many rounds. That AWP's in play, but no real opportunity to rack up any utility. A couple of FAMASes. They can pull out that secondary AWP. It's not the best of buys. They have got this double AWP set up, but it's not the best of buys here. They do need to rely on finding these opening picks.
They absolutely do. This needs to be a 4th round. Combine that with a pistol, maybe you've got a chance. But this map already looks over in Endpoint pressuring the B bomb site for the final time. Might even be a fake despite that. forZe, lots of map control. You see Flit and Warrow trying to get aggressive via Ivy. It is working out. They put Flit in an aggressive position here. Fast flank potential on the A bomb site. Flank potential also possible on B. But with the bomb dropped back and passive, Flit... aggressive angle. Does he get spotted out, though? This is all about timing, Josh. We'll find Flames here. So quick shot, no damage dealt. And there's the smoke grenade as well to create a compromise. With forZe aggressive into the heaven. 1 minute remains. And Endpoint have to eliminate both of these FAMASes to actually get the job done down on the curly letter. And forZe might even be the more pivotal member of the two. If they don't peek towards heaven, he's got such a great vantage point. And well, this will definitely be the A site, surely. This is basically a fake. C-Power not forced off the angle, but the AWP doesn't connect. Warrow finds one in the meantime, and now the FAMASes can actually jump in to try and support. forZe doesn't get spotted. That is the half done and dusted. And forZe, look at that. It looks pretty, doesn't it? You've got a little bit of symmetry there, but that's not what you're going for in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it does. It's bizarre. It's not often that you actually see it work out like that, but it does just show that Endpoint, they weren't allowing forZe to string together any rounds whatsoever, not even the second round after the pistol. And as we go into this second half, Endpoint, they should just be able to close this one out. We saw that forZe, they had a really rough T-side over on Mirage. I don't see it being much different here on Train, but one of their win conditions is definitely to take this pistol. If they can't, they certainly have problems on their hands as they head over towards B early on. No kitchen play for Endpoint, and they're going for the frags.
Certainly are. Yes, is. Not holding up the charge, and Flames misses a couple as well. That's unconventional. Robin gets swept away by the retrieved USP from Warrow. This B bomb site, it's fallen, and forZe should take both pistol rounds off the back of this. Remember, Endpoint were able to bounce right back last half. Remember, forZe, they found 4 out of 4 pistol victories thus far this series. Yeah, that's permitting they close out this 2 versus 5, which they certainly should. They will.
This is just a bizarre one. This was a bizarre round from Endpoint. I didn't really like it. Going for no kits, so you say, okay, right, we're going to go for the kills, but instead you've just got all of those USPs. They get aggressive towards brown halls, which is where you really anticipate all of those Glocks to just get up close and personal and do the damage at close range, which is where they're most deadly. And there's just absolutely nothing those USPs can do. Just very messy engagements, body shots spraying away. That is going to be the round for forZe. Mighty Max actually just saving the Kevlar he had.
Certainly, so tough and tricky. Here's that power match bonus once again from our partners. Go over to the banner below if you want to take advantage of that one. I expect Endpoint to be very firm favourites right now. That's exactly what I'd expect. They're 11-5 up, and with the scouts in hand, couple of Desert Eagles, could definitely have equity here in the 17th round. I expect a lot of speed from forZe, though. Get up close and personal with those SMGs, and always as impactful here on Train. We'll see if they can actually make them work out.
Yeah, you got to remember, these Deagles and Scouts at range have an advantage over these Mat 10s, so getting close is really the goal here, and you need to use and utilize those smoke grenades to allow yourself to do so.
They're already dissipating, though. 2 smokes have popped on the A bomb site. They've got another 3 in their arsenal. But 3 smokes not always enough to keep the players back on A. Ivy's going to be completely open, and Endpoint playing a more aggressive defense. They are watching with both of these scouts, like turrets, towards both angles. Flit already through. The Deagle to try and contest and caught with a nade out in hand. Robin is going to at least sweep away the first, ready for the scouts to try and get a little bit of success. Blitz, does he check this corner? He does. Should be both kills here, but Crucial's able to sweep one right back. And low HP players, definitely a difference maker. Is Endpoint now trying to get the job done. Bomb down in the open, and Flames, that is a startling shot. forZe, he knows exactly where he's playing from. And Flames, he's just jumping and leaping and bounding all the way out to try and get the job done. Tappity tap, and it's another headshot to finish. What is that from Flames? Unreal.
Just incredible. 3 kills, even in that final scenario. I'm thinking, what on earth is he doing here? He's running out into the open. He's going to get caught off. And even without his gun in his hand, he switches back to the Deagle, lands the 1 That is just absolutely sensational. Back-to-back 4 spy rounds, Endpoint taken.
Wow.
That pretty much ends it for forZe. Look, you can see Flit even just AFK for the first few seconds of that round.
I thought that 1 had knocked him all the way out of the server.
It just breaks you, doesn't it? You think, right, we've won the pistol. That's one of the win conditions. Let's try and get back into this one now, guys. And then you just get dealt the same cards as you did in the first half. Now they're down to an eco. They're 12-5 down.
It almost feels like a 1 versus 3 as well. Flames just diverting all of the attention and finding the frags. It's pretty unbelievable when you actually factor in what that actually means. Should push Endpoint over the top for this first map of the series. It's their pick, and they've got Mirage coming up next, which we know that they're at least half comfortable on. We've got a 4-9 record on it. And we saw forZe actually struggle against Luminar, especially on that terrorist side, so I heavily expect this to be a very one-sided scoreline. This should be a sweep away against the Pistols. Mighty Max aggressive stance. 2 kills, definitely acceptable if they can retrieve the M4A4. forZe to see power in the meantime. Just needs 1 more kill to make this an okay round. And that's not going to happen. On train, it's so difficult to do that damage. 13 Endpoint. They survive with 4 of those players alive, but don't retrieve the M4A4.
Shouldn't make too much difference. 13-5, and as you say, Mirage. Map the Endpoint, they're not uncomfortable with it. Recently taken wins against Sprout, against Mouse Sports. 16-6 against Fate only a few weeks back. Pretty comfortable on a map like Mirage. And you've got to remember that they'll be starting off on that CT side. So forZe, their T half, which we mentioned was pretty weak earlier on against Illuminar, will have to play first. Morrow, nice aggressive angle, but only a 1-for-1 trade. This is a must-win round for forZe.
And with a minute 30 left to play with, they've got lots of equity in this one. Flit AK-47. We saw C-Power open up so many times with the AWP. That was just the tilting factor if you were on the Illuminar side. A minute 15 left to play. Robin gonna potentially rummage in towards A main. Won't find too much. Of course, there's nobody here. It's down to the MP9s to do the damage instead. They've been able to trade up both of those rifles. Robin now with an AK. And the B bomb site, which previously went, well, just heavily fortified. It literally has nobody here on the defense. Endpoint, this stack, this gamble will likely finally get heard, but a little too late perhaps, as this bomb can very easily go down. The flank is already coming through. Surreal's in behind. Needs to make a jump down if he's going to take these angles. But Endpoint know exactly what's going on. The bomb away. And C-Power up towards the heaven. Needs to watch this flank. Surreal's right on his back. And should know that this one's coming through. Does have the angle. Nice fast flick. No chance for Surreal to respond. This might force that save.
Yeah, I think that's the right call from Endpoint. If Surreal finds a frag there, then 100% they go for that retake. If he drops, then they know that they don't really have any chance. That C4's planted on default. forZe can just take those post-plant positions. It's just unfortunate they weren't able to get that one done. What's he circling? I don't know.
I don't know. Do it again. Are we playing charades? Is this like Pictionary or something? Draw an animal and let's try and guess it on the stream.
Maybe you're saying do a flip.
Let's see an animal. Okay. That is a... Okay. It's quite hard when it goes... Oh, it's a duck! Or is it a chicken? Oh no. Is that a porcupine? Is it a turtle? It is a turtle. There we go. We got it.
We win. I like that. And number 20, full investment from both sides. An AWP in play, of course, in the hands of C-Power. He does manage to land himself one straight through that smoke. That's going to give them that all-important advantage that they need. But they are being kept at an arm's length. Endpoint getting super aggressive, and it's not really paying off too well for them so far.
Oh, quick peeks, though, from Flames. He wants to get aggressive off the back of losing 2 teammates, and he's just brought it back single-handedly in their favor. A quick headshot. Flames actually going for the ace right now. He's just going to dive through these smokes into his demise. Heavy damage. Nobody helps out. And that fast round definitely favors forZe, creating chaos on this T side. You see Flames just trying to put in his best attempt. He's up to 23 frags. Such a pickup here for Endpoint.
That's actually a massive round from him. It's unfortunate that no one else steps up, because to find 3 kills like that, even at a time where it was still doable to pull it back, just sensational stuff. Nonetheless, Endpoint still 13-7 up. They lead by 6. They drop down to this eco. They know they've got enough time to play with to afford it. Moro takes some damage, but doesn't drop.
Yeah, no need to overinvest in these scenarios. Obviously, you're not going to do too much damage. I don't think you're ever really going to force forZe onto an eco before this game finishes. To be perfectly honest with you, Josh, I think this should just be a simple buy up until the finish line. Obviously, if Endpoint take 3 rounds here, they will finish off this opening map. And with an AWP stolen away, I'd have loved to see C-Power save a little more aggressively. And Flames, I don't know how he does it, but he seems to be hitting everything in this series. AWP retrieved. And do forZe want to give away all of their money here? I don't think so.
No, they can't really afford to. Warro's got no cash behind him. Jerry likewise. They absolutely need to save these rifles so that they can go for a healthy investment in the next. And remember, they have to reinvest another AWP as well. There's no AWP that can be saved unless Flames get taken down here. And he actually does. So they'll be able to... No, they won't. He threw it out of the map. Oh, that's so smart.
That is so clutch, isn't it? Oh, gosh.
Does he throw it out?
Maybe we'll see it again.
Spam?
We might see it again here if we get a replay. I want a replay of maybe him throwing the AWP away, because he did turn, didn't he?
Yeah, I think when the Mac-10 started spamming him, he threw it out of the map and then died.
That is so funny if that actually happens. And since we've got a tactical, we've got a little bit of time to find it as well. I'm so curious as to if that actually happened. Maybe it was a bug. Maybe the AWP just fell below the map.
Or it was hiding in the body, or the bomb blew it away.
Oh, could have been the bomb.
Yeah. Could have been the birds.
Those
pesky bloody birds.
Yeah, they love stealing sausage rolls and AWPs. Producer says that they don't have the replay. He's lost it.
Sad face.
He put it... fell between the couch and the sofa.
Fell through the map.
Along with all that loose change.
Well, a force buy here from Endpoint. Not really much of a force. Bit of Kevlar, bit of utility. Deagles all round. They have shown how dangerous they can be with them, of course, in the second round of this half. But up against a full investment, the AKs and the AWP, forZe have to make a serious mistake here to let this one slip.
Yeah, remember this is how Endpoint closed out their previous series, though. It was with force buys and half buys like this. Push towards the B bomb site. You see the C4, it is committed. That's on the back of forZe. He wants to throw it away, so he has the freedom to go for these openings. And up against 3 pistols, with Flames dying already on that A bomb site, that might actually force the issue and cause the rotate. Third man also being pried over towards B, and I wonder if that pop dog position can actually pay dividends for Robin. He's already been spotted. So the Desert Eagle needs some success. And, well, surprise, surprise, there it is. As forZe move towards A, so do the defensive. And with Jerry eliminated, Mighty Max a stunning shot. And this A bomb site being fortified once again. That smoke goes away and actually leaves just one player here. It's Mighty Max. He's got the AK-47. No support here. There's no easy option there for forZe. But as he gets that initial information, there goes the flashbang, and gives him a lot of space to find some face. And Warro finds another one in the meantime. And Mighty Max doesn't have the armor to prevent that aim punch and to hold up that site. 12 seconds, bomb down, and it has been a successful round for Endpoint. Flipped on a knife's edge. But surreal and crucial. I get both of their names mixed up there. It's just too complicated for me. Surreal and Crucial. It looks like it should be easy, and perhaps it is. They do get taken away.
I don't know what it is either. I seem to get those two mixed up too. They're not super close names either.
They don't look the same. They don't have close names whatsoever. They don't... I guess they do sometimes play the same weapons.
I suppose.
There's no excuse.
Well, here's that double AWP setup. Of course, Endpoint really gave their opponents a run for their money just with the deagles in hand. So now they have all these rifles. I think forZe might struggle. Double AWP setup in play. Mighty Max with a secondary and very nice opener.
And he is being held at bay behind these smokes, but still finding success. Jerry's going to be the second man to sideline this defense. And if they don't watch it as the smoke dissipates, there's definitely an option back through, bashing into each other through the smokes. And he is going for all of these kills right now. Crucial does flick back onto him, and the double AWP still stand. They've got all of the info, and there's another tag from Crucial. He's doing splendid amounts of damage. Unfortunately, there's not an aid on the server, but they might not even need it right now as Crucial. That's his third of the round. And forZe, he's only got 17 points of health to play with. What a round there. Over the top, forZe is able to find it. I don't know how Surreal lets him get away, but forZe steal one back in their favor.
Such a close round, literally coming down to that 2 versus 1. That's a massive clutch for forZe to find. We talked previously about him being on a single frag, and him and Waro have actually really caught up. This is what we saw on Dust 2 as well with Waro, where they have like an abysmal first sort of 10 rounds, and then they just catch up, and they're not leading the charge or anything like that, but they're back level pegging with all of their teammates. It means that they've certainly had a lot of impact in the last few. Now it's just going to be a fast B play, and surely they break through these deagles.
Should be easy as well. Surreal and Crucial, they don't think so. Eagles from all angles chipping in, and Flames, he seems to always do it every time. 2 headshots, and maybe even more against Jerry, as he's trying to frantically back off right now. That nade's gonna ping the AWP backwards. Jerry was trying to defend it. So much damage dealt, and he is stuck in his tracks towards the Brian Halls. Robin getting aggressive. This is the best angle for the job, and it's a headshot to finish. Endpoint, that's 14, but a half buy with 4 players alive pushes the money in their favor. How many more advantages could you ask for here?
You know, I'm convinced that Flames is a robot.
Just a robot.
He's a robot. I think so. I think so. That is so sensational. You see how quick those 2 deagle shots were in rapid succession? You have to give that deagle a second to reset before you can take that secondary shot. So to be able to go bang, bang, find 2 headshots at long range against the rifles and snatch your way around that you should have no equity in whatsoever, no business in winning, is just incredible. Mighty Max here in the 25th opens things up nicely. This could be Endpoint match point.
Could certainly be, and with Robin finding blind shots in the meantime, this is falling apart at the seams for forZe. We've talked about the T-side being an issue. It hasn't been today in this series, but might not be enough to bail them out of trouble. It was the CT side that really let them down, 15-10 being the probability here for Endpoint. Finding those openings have consistently been the issue here for the Brits, but this one, not been the case. Mighty Max confident enough to take that second peek outwards, but it's only got the Desert Eagle to hold up the fight, and with him going down, Flames wants to get aggressive once again. It's only Waro to hold up the line. Had an awful start to this map as well. Finally getting acclimatized, but a 1 versus 5, which would be a massive performance. See, a couple of freebies perhaps. That's a no-scope. Lovely stuff. Does the damage, and maybe wants to send this back to B. He hasn't got the bomb on his back, so 30 seconds, and I would suggest a save.
Absolutely, yeah, especially considering he doesn't know if anyone is actually contesting that fallen C4. There is nobody on it, so he could go and grab it and dart for a B plant, but he really doesn't have the time. And he also doesn't have the information, so fall away, save that AWP, definitely the smarter play to go for here. But that is going to allow Endpoint onto match point. That means that forZe will need 5 in a row to take this one to OT, otherwise they are out of train.
They are gonzo. That's what you would have expected coming into this series. You saw those Paramatch odds earlier. Endpoint have always been fairly firm favourites. That's only extended as of that first half lead. forZe weren't able to chain together even 2 rounds at any point. It was all just individuals all the way through. 15-10, double AWPs back in play for the Brits, and once again, forZe, they have got a sniper in one man's hand, but with C power dropping, this might be the beginning of the end.
It's starting to look like it, isn't it? Flames does take some early damage, but that is all. And wow. Bullet just whizzing past forZe's head there through the wall. I think he took a second to be like, whoa. Down the face to death. Ooh. Does come back into a 4-on-4 though. Flit does get tagged down to 8 HP, but levels out these numbers, grabs himself a rifle. I think he'll be happy with that engagement.
His life flashes before his very eyes. He sees all of those online maps of CS played. Flit actually able to do a fair bit of damage there, despite being on just 8 points of health. That's another headshot, and definitely gives them a slight window of opportunity, especially onto the A bomb site if they want to go for that re-rotate backwards, with Mighty Max already going for the wrap back towards B. It's surreal to hold into heaven, playing around these smokes, and forZe, shoulder spotted, can't capitalize. There goes the Molotov as well. That's going to bounce and boing on through. It's Flit to try and take A. Well, should be able to catch off another one. That's a triple already. Smoke place. This will bring the bomb back. Can they get past Surreal, though? That's the big question. They can. forZe are able to take him down. That's another rifle granted and given. Mighty Max are 1 versus 3. They might just want to hold on to the AWP. Their money's really not riding too high, Josh, with only winning 2 rounds in the last 7.
Oh, that's a nice shot. That's a lovely shot. He can then fall away and save. I wouldn't mind him going for this one, I suppose. Maybe he will.
No, not enough time, perhaps. We'll just try and hunt for another exit, knowing that the money is substantially low. Is he even going for a ninja here? I don't think so. He's not got nearly enough time on that C4. Trying to lock somebody in place at the end of this one. No HE can't take down Flit. You see that money really struggling on forZe. Shouldn't inevitably matter. If Endpoint win 1 round, it's jeebas anyway.
Did you say heebie-jeebas?
Jeebas.
Jeebie-jeebies. What does that mean?
GG. That's what
right.
GG stands for.
Jeebie-jeebies.
Jeebas. Everybody?
I thought it was good game or something like that.
No.
Jeebie-jeebies.
It's too standard. That's what they all tell you. They tell you lies, and well, it might be jeebas right now. In fact, as both AWPs connect, a 5 versus 3. forZe stuck in an awful position with forZe low on HP, and Jerry really has to do everything from above these trains. Does get spotted as well, so that inkling of opportunity now stolen away. There's Surreal dropping the pack, and well, it's all down to Jerry. A couple of clutches in our first map there. That was Mirage. It will be next as well, but with Crucial missing a shot. Remember, he still has to challenge Flames, and he's got an M4 in hand and just swinging for this headshot. There's the shots. It's, of course, Flames to close it. The man who opened up this series is the man to hit the 11-16. Good stuff.
Well, it definitely came a little bit closer than I was expecting. Endpoint, they were leading by a mile. Then moving on to that second half, they were looking like the better side too. forZe, they did a good job at bringing it back. Their T side was looking stronger, and that does fill me with a little bit more confidence moving on to Mirage. But it is still a 16-11 performance there from Endpoint, and I am very impressed.
The time as well is 1337. So to all you elite gamers out there, go and get yourself a drink of whatever gamer stuff you drink, and we'll be back right after the break, as it's Mirage coming up next.
the teammates. I wanna hear your go, go, go. I wanna see you falling fast. Win the round. Win the game. Fighting match. They play, you win.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the European Development Championships, all brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. And we've seen some this series, especially from Endpoint. That T side, blisteringly quick, of course. Big double-digit halves from them all day, and that was another one there on train. They go on to, maybe not their home pick, but obviously forZe's pick of Mirage next, where should be a tougher battle.
Absolutely, yeah. We've seen Endpoint so far breeze through today completely uncontested. They go into this second map of this series. And as you say, this should be where the challenge really starts to kick in. They're up on forZe's map pick. It's Mirage. It's historically one of their best maps. But with these two stand-ins, we did see them struggle a little bit against Illuminar earlier. Admittedly, they did still take it over the edge. And they had an incredible CT half to do so. So I think that that's really a danger factor here for Endpoint. They know that forZe are superb on their CT side. Of course, forZe will be starting on that attacking half though. So it all really does come down to how many rounds Endpoint can take in the first half and then use that confidence, that momentum to carry it across and try and finish off the job. I think there's a chance that this goes to 2 maps here and that it's a 2-0 to Endpoint, but in the back of my mind, I'm really feeling this 3-mapper. I think this is going to go the distance.
Yeah, I think so as well, to be perfectly honest. I think what we saw from forZe's Mirage earlier, definitely a worrying sign. And I think that they might have a slightly easier task on Inferno, albeit that being a decent map for Endpoint as well. They didn't want to pick into it, of course. forZe didn't want to pick into it, just knowing that Endpoint, they've got 13 out of 21 wins on that particular turf. That's considering they've previously just qualified for the ESL Pro League as well, so playing quite a high tier of opposition to actually qualify for that. So you will be playing a lot of Inferno, a lot of these middle-ish maps that a lot of the teams are actually comfortable on. Here we see those power match odds. Endpoint on this map still favourites, favoured to take this 2-0. Josh, what do you make of that? Have them apples.
Oh, I somewhat wasn't expecting that. Of course, they're going to be the favourites to win the series, but this particular map to be the slight favourites, yeah, I wasn't really expecting that whatsoever. I think, as we've mentioned plenty of times, I think that really does come down to those stand-ins on that forZe side and actually just their lack of performance today. Of course, they were able to take that map against Illuminar, and credit where credit's due, they did so very, very nicely in that second half, but they were showing a lot of mistakes in that first portion of the map. Then they showed a lot of mistakes over on train against Endpoint. I think they're definitely just not at their best right now, and this is really a chance for Endpoint to beat them while they're down.
And remember, Waro and Forrester, they haven't had a lot of time to get tried or tested. I think Waro's only got about 250 AWP frags logged on HLTV, not played a lot of Counter-Strike outside of actually those qualifier matches that we saw just the other day with 1 win in the roster. I feel like Waro was probably one of the better players there, but we don't know what his mindset's like. Of course, he's got that global mute in Counter-Strike, which we always see and do kind of love. forZe, they took both pistols last time they played Mirage. Let's see if they can have a repeat performance here towards the A bomb site, where only Robin is holding a very aggressive angle under dark. And here come forZe. They instantly rip him apart. Great headshot. This should be very hard to get back into here, especially with Mighty Max has got that ninja set piece. He's got the smoke grenade, defuse kit in play, and Flames coming in through the flank. Needs a headshot now, and he's unable to find it against C-Power. He was voyaging towards the middle of the map. And surreal pair of headshots. Lovely stuff. Might be even good for more. Flip forced into the open, and we know that C-Power is very low on HP. So with the kit retrieved, they should be able to get back onto this one now. The smoke grenade is good to go as well, and C-Power in from the Palace does get spotted and eliminated by Crucial. What a retake from Endpoint.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Surreal. 2 snappy headshots from the CT spawn. Pretty beautiful to watch. And I was actually about to criticize Endpoint's pistol rounds, about to say that I think they've lost every single pistol round today, but no, they bounce it right back. It's absolutely sensational. And off the back of it, forZe actually called a tactical timeout. I feel like they didn't utilize their tac timeouts enough over on Train, so it's nice to see them using them here on Mirage, but maybe a little bit too early. I'm not sure.
Yeah, nothing's good enough for you, is it, Josh? They don't use them, you complain. They use them early, you complain.
No, I mean, it's fine. You use one now, and then you use one, like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 rounds in, and then you kind of use one at the halfway point if needs be, and then maybe save one towards... Yeah, you can space them out.
Here are those odds already, though. forZe supposed favourites. I guess that's probably because the first ones that we watched might have been slightly wrong. Not sure. They are changing all of the time, of course. They are live odds, so people betting and taking advantage of those would definitely think forZe, they're not underdogs, are they? Let's bet on that right now. And of course, you can down in the banners below.
Well, here in the second, obviously a full investment here from forZe. They got that C4 planted. So they've got 3 AKs to work with, a couple of Deagles. Of course, those Deagles haven't got Kevlar to support them. They had to drop those rifles over. And Endpoint, they're not over-investing here. They've actually gone down to these MP9s, 2 M4s to play with too. They're opting for that utility instead. The HEs, the incendiary grenades, they know that they can do so much damage onto the unarmored opponents, and well, Surreal just has to be careful there. He absolutely is. It's very much looking like an A-hit. Flame, as soon as he spots it out, he'll deploy that nade, but he surely will fall. Oh no.
That's brutal. Oh, no. Molotov placed as well. 2 quick kills. That's a team kill as well from C-Power in the meantime. And Flames is still standing now with the AK-47 as Robin gets tagged. Warrior hits a lovely 1-dig. Struggled on the terrorist side last time. Let's hope he's hotter coming into this series, but perhaps not as hot as the main man himself, Flames, as his name suggests. Endpoint looking for the 2-1 start, the 2-0 starts. Warrior towards this B bomb site, doesn't have the C4 here. That is isolated towards the ramp where Endpoint are holding. He's got 30 seconds left to try and scurry this one through. And, well, might even get spotted here. Shot doesn't find its marker. So the M4 heavy peeking there for Surreal. Confident enough to go for that swing. And Jerry 3 HP. No body armor as well. Doesn't need to survive this one. So we'll just give away his life and suicide for that loss bonus. It's 2-0 Endpoint. A convincing round there.
That is unbelievable from Flames. In a position like that, he should be dead to rights. And instead, that supporting incendiary helps him out. The HE grenade, and then the team kill coming through as well. It all just goes horribly wrong there for forZe. And Flames is just able to pick up the pieces quite nicely with that MP9 in hand, up close and personal. You just have other priorities in mind. Round number 3, Endpoint should be able to take it quite comfortably. Of course, they're just up against a full eco, a couple of pistols, a little bit of util comes out, but that's about it as they go for this A hit. And they just want to try and waterfall out of Palace, see if they can get this C4 plant. I really doubt Flames will allow it.
No, he's got that nade as well, which should be able to do tons of damage. Robin only a smoke grenade, and watching them on the waterfall, that's a lovely HE through, and Flames and Robin there for 2. It's going to be all of the AKs chipping and chiming in, and very little damage done by forZe in this engagement. No bomb plant, of course, that's the crucial factor. Is Endpoint up to 3?
Well, this is really going to be where they're tested. forZe, of course, they have to pull out these rifles. It's certainly too early to call, but they had a rough T-side earlier on today. Maybe that's just to do with how early it was. Many teams wake up in the morning, don't necessarily have time to do the necessary practice before coming into one of these best of ones. You'd like to think they would, though, accommodate it in their schedule. And this is interesting. The boost over towards Ladder Room actually means that Surreal can get there a little bit quicker, perhaps. And forZe just taking this mid control. This is their priority right now. Leave that C4 behind, take the mid control, feel around, see if you can get an opening pick, then fall back and play safety in numbers, and there we go. Snappy headshot from Warrow to open things up.
He is more than ready, and Robin now needs to contest with this connector control that Flit has taken, along with Jerry on the flank here from the ramp room. This now becomes difficult to hold for Endpoint, especially with this configuration. Robin knows it, and he's gone elsewhere towards the counter-terrorist spawn, and with Flip finding even more headshots. This should definitely be doable, unless Robin can shut them down. Pair of heads for him. He's been playing with these UK members for years. Now Endpoint, just off the back of Mighty Max, He's ditched the rifle to try and grab hold of this potential AK-47 behind the smoke from the CT spawn. And, well, forZe did potentially have the angle there. We'll go back for it, surely. And with Mighty Max right over the top, they're playing practically back-to-back. Rifle spotted and Mighty Max eliminated. That'll be a complete wipeout here for the CTs.
Oh, I got to the edge of my seat when Robin found that beautiful double kill. I thought there was real opportunity that they do pull that one back, but instead it is going to be the first on the board for forZe. Plenty of cash in the bank here for Endpoint to go for another reinvestment. They've got that AWP and Crucial, rifles on the rest, and some utility to work with too. What's Flames got? Okay, there's a FAMAS on the floor. He's just grabbed that one. So slight firepower advantage here for forZe. All comes down to what they do with it, though, as it's looking like they're going for a bit of a mid-B split early. Maybe they do backtrack. I think they're a little bit undecided.
You've always got a dilemma what to put in Flames' hands, because of course he can use everything. You'd prefer him to have an M4, but even if he's the man relegated to the Desert Eagle, it seems to almost not even matter. Sometimes he'd just prefer to have a Molotov in hand, a flashbang to bail him out of some trouble. He's certainly got the latter this time. Towards the ramp room, and, well, flawless flash inwards from Crucial. That's the teamwork that we always talk about coming in from Endpoint again.
Yeah, these beautiful little pieces of coordinated aggression that we see from Endpoint. It's not just Flame pushing in for no reason or anything like that. It's calls a flash, goes for a peek, gets that nice opening pick. Flit is able to trade it out, and all of this utility does force away the defenders from this A-bomb side. So it is looking like Endpoint are going to play for somewhat of a retake here. Flame Zone needs to try and hold this line. If he can do some damage, then it can completely change the course of this one. But only a few shots connect before he gets his head ripped off.
Yeah, that's Waro just bailing all of his teammates out of trouble. Another headshot as well to finish. Does actually pick up that AK-47 once more. Good communication there from forZe to make sure they're not in trouble with the buy here on round number 6. But Waro basically did everything there. You saw him just helping Forrester inside the palace. Both of those players know how to play with each other, of course. They've done so before. 2 rounds on the board now from forZe, as Endpoint have to eat the full eco over round number 6.
It's a bit of a change. Waro right now actually leading the charge. Maybe it just takes him a couple of maps to get warmed up. Third map's the charm. Full eco here for Endpoint. Quite literally only the USPSs. No utility, no Kevlar, no pistols. They just want to try and hit some shots towards mid, and actually they do a fair amount of damage with it. 2 kills, this is already acceptable. And it's actually a 3-on-3, opportunity for more damage.
That is a true to the muscle UK strat. Sitting behind the smoke, wait for it to dissipate, rip some faces off. Probably the best strategy that you could have employed that time. And even with this flank as well, should eliminate the sniper, doesn't. It's C-Power to survive. 2 players low HP. That could have been far more costly.
Absolutely could have, yeah. With that C4 down as well. Certainly potential, but as the scoreline levels up 3-3, so do the parry match odds. Of course, our partners over there predict this one deadlocked. 1.87 for both parties. As we go into round number 7 as well, both teams with a full investment.
Certainly have. Up in the hands of C-Power once again, and heavy mid control there for Surreal. Doesn't get spotted, so able to scurry back through the smoke. With his life at least. 43 HP, those Molotovs chunking away half of his health.
Well, they've dealt quite a lot themselves, but Flames takes even further damage. This mid control completely gifted to forZe. Endpoint. They want to try and fortify these bomb sites. They didn't really want to contest mid any longer. They've taken a lot of damage from it already. And they know that if they do try and face and they drop a player or two, then it's pretty much round over. So play towards these sites. See what you can do with it.
And maybe we're seeing here, that CT side earlier was more of a strength for Illumina rather than a weakness for forZe. Waro was absolutely pounded in that previous series, remember. Only 2 kills for his T side. He's already more than doubled that up to 5. Could be an opportunity for Endpoint to shut it down. Couple of kills found. Low HP players on both rosters. Waro, notably, only 12 to work with. Means that C-Power needs a lot of success. He certainly won't be finding it this time. Mighty Max sidelines him. And Waro needs some damage. Otherwise, this is going to be an Endpoint flawless round. I think he might be about to get spotted as well. There's the sidelining again. Crucial finishes him off, and a very convincing performance there. Orb retrieved. That'll go towards the hands of either Crucial or Surreal, I guess, as they do have all the rifles to play with. Bit of a dilemma for forZe as they take the tactical timeout again. We did say around that 7-round mark, 8 rounds in, take that second tack, have a discussion about it. It seemed to benefit them before, despite our criticism.
Yeah, I think I quite literally said 8. So I'm going to predict that the next one comes in
Here we go.
on
Look at the
round
crystal ball.
number 19. That's when I think it's going to come in.
Well,
Yeah.
We'll keep. Do you win anything?
I don't know, do I?
Maybe I should buy you another Christmas outfit if that happens.
All right, thanks, bro.
What do you want? A reindeer, perhaps?
I'd like a real reindeer.
Nah, just a reindeer outfit. I could get you the red nose and everything.
All right, fine. That'll do. That'll do. As we get into this 8th, though, on the back of that timeout, forZe still with this full investment. Lack of utility on a couple of these guys, more notably Warrow and Flit, of course. And Crucial, with that AWP that he managed to salvage in the last, he's going to keep it for himself. A nice early Christmas present. Is this utility just keeping forZe at an arm's length? Even these Molotovs coming down. forZe can't help his teammates. They can't swing mid just yet. They need his support before doing so. And Endpoint just playing this one incredibly slow.
Remember that Incendiary actually gets both of these CTs into position. Over this smoke, flashbang flawless, and Roro still finds it. He struggled to find any openings against Illuminar. Endpoint giving him a lot more to work with. A minute remains. Flashbang over the top. Mighty Max little information. He might have just spotted out Flit. I think he was tucked into that corner, so maybe just his spidey senses tingling. There's Flame still by the ticket booth in forZe. Head towards this B bomb site. Could isolate this into a split. We'll see what Warrow can do inside the connector. He's, of course, fairly low HP, and with Mighty Max getting even more aggressive, surely he just dies here. Doesn't find any damage, but does spot the bomb off the back of it. Leaves Crucial looking for some shots. One is already crossed, and maybe doesn't want to take his eyes off the prize inside the apartments as he finds both kills. Jerry, he gets slaughtered out of the server, and Crucial might just have held up this single-man defense. They're heading back to the A-bomb site frantically. This has to be off the back of Warrow. Maybe not finding an opening as the full rotate has come through, and Endpoint should spot that there's nobody here right now. Flames will make his desperate attempt back towards the A-bomb site, AK in hand to spot the cross, and we'll find it a little bit late. It's still the headshot found and the follow-up. Flames, you always want him alive on the server, and that's exactly why.
That's just incredible. I mean, I'm not massively for the aggression from Mighty Max into the apartments, but from spotting out those players so early means that he can call it Crucial, he can get into position, and then just hit these fantastic flick shots. And Flames just finishes off the job quite nicely. I mean, even something as small as how quick he actually got through that murder hole, just such a fast rotation. Cuts them off before they can even get those post-plant positions. That's going to put Endpoint in the lead by 2 and force forZe down to just a force buy here. Just a couple of pistols out, a couple of Tech 9s, a CZ to work with. I don't think they'll be able to get much done here.
Honestly, that spray transfer from Flames, try that in 2 versus 2 situations when all of the pressure has been applied. So hard to do. Robin, in the meantime, he has found that first frag, cautioned backwards by the damage. There goes the Incendiary through, and he has spotted out all of that crucial information. Knows where they're playing from. Through the smoke, he gets posted, so that's C-Power eliminating him. Good start from forZe. They've done the damage, taken map control. Now they need to burst with the pistols. Flames gets instantly annihilated by the Tech 9. It's forZe with full connector control. Crucial, he misses a really important shot there. He's been forced back here, and Jerry spots out the shadow, knows where he's playing from, not quick enough to hit the shot regardless. Crucial definitely is. The AK can't take him out of the equation, so over the top, forZe just looking for one of these rifles. They know where he's playing from, and well, there's a bit of a freebie. Knows that the AWP is still posted as well. So much intel gained. This will be the B-bomb site taken. C-Power, great angle. Gets eliminated by Surreal, but both players low HP. This really starts to suck here for Endpoint. Suck the life out of this attack, perhaps. He knows that forZe was playing this angle, and he's got a perfect flank to do the damage. Tech9 comes out once again, and Crucial should be dead to right here. Does spot a shoulder, and that's not a kill. Oh no. Allows forZe back again, and I'm sure that Flit doesn't want to take a more aggressive approach. That smoke grenade is going to push right through it, lose his face, and Flit just needs to stay alive for a couple more seconds to secure and guarantee the round, remember. He could ride around the corner as well. I would definitely prefer the M4, but he finds a shot anyway.
Oh. That's so unfortunate there that Crucial couldn't land that shot earlier. Of course, if he'd have killed him, I think he might have actually gone in for that retake. Instead, has to fall away and can't even save the weapon. And up on your screen right now, there's that Hellcase banner. Make sure you use the code on screen if you do want to head over to Hellcase for that 15% refill bonus. Panels down below if you want to go and check that one out.
You just have to click them. Clickety-click. Everyone's got a mouse or a trackpad. I think you could even click on the banner with a trackpad.
I'd hope so. I don't know how you would have navigated your way here if you didn't.
Through telepathy, through the power of the mind, telekinesis, you move the cursor using your brain.
Or, hear me out, keyboard shortcuts.
Ooh, they could have done that.
I don't know them.
No, me neither, to be honest. I tried to navigate to a folder on my desktop using keyboard shortcuts. Yeah, just yesterday, and failed miserably.
I was about to say, how'd that go for you? But yeah,
It didn't. I
failed
never
miserably.
got to my file.
Yeah, no, it's a rough one. It's a rough one. I can't do it either. Got to use a lot of tab and enter, I think.
Lots of tapping around.
A lot of tabbing around. I don't have any arrow keys on my keyboard either, which makes things 10 times worse.
Oh, you've got one of those mini keyboards?
Yep. I hate it.
Why don't you buy a normal keyboard?
I don't know, man. I actually have a normal keyboard as well. I have a couple, but
Just plug it in.
yeah, but this one's it's nice. It's a little ducky, and it looks cool.
But what about the arrow keys? Some of the most used keys. How do you watch YouTube videos? Do you like not scroll using your arrows?
No, I have to scroll. I would previously, but now I scroll using the mouse. It's hard times, man. It's the sacrifice I make for this little ducky keyboard.
Sounds a little too much of a compromise to me.
Maybe it is.
From a man who infamously doesn't compromise. The real, just on this bomb site, should definitely get just eviscerated here. And this is looking like a much more standard and stable terrorist side here from forZe. The bomb will go down once again. Endpoint already relegated to saving.
It's definitely not looking super convincing or anything like that, but as you say, a stable T side, they're putting up the rounds, they're finding the frags. Endpoint really do have to focus here, otherwise they will be going to that third map. forZe just about to take the lead, 6-5. Of course, Endpoint now going for the save, so there's no way that this bomb doesn't go off. That will put us into round number 12, just one away from each other.
Trying to keep desperately alive this AWP. They put it in Flame's hand and trusting that he can carry it through into the 12th round upcoming. It's a nice little boom as well. I feel like we see the AWP boom increasingly often.
I like it. I think it's one of those kind of cool vintage skins. Yeah, I used to have a fair few AWP booms back in the day. I think they're cool. I think they're very, very cool.
Do they ever upgrade the quality of the AWP Lightning Strike, or do they keep it in low HD?
No, I think it's still like a 360p image.
Jeez. I mean, they've actually put the AWP in Flame's hands. He's able to find one, and he is still going through the flames, ironically. Down to 41 points of health. Taking window control once again. Here comes the secondary peek as well. Off the back of the Deagles. Surreal diverting the attention. And that gives the AWP the freedom to go for those swings. It's Jerry to likely take him down, but Flame's able to end the round single-handedly instead. Give this man the AWP. Endpoint supposedly have 3 players who can holster it.
That's actually pretty awesome. He had the top spawn there, wanted to go for that short pick, and yeah, just put it in his hands, and he'll pull it off with any weapon. I think this really does confirm my suspicions that maybe he is just a robot, Squid. I think he is just a robot.
He is. He's an FPL bot. He's been coded to bring pain to the Counter-Strike players who face him.
Maybe. In fact, almost definitely. Endpoint, though. Looking fantastic here on Mirage. And remember, forZe there had a really rough T side earlier on. So the fact that they have taken 6 here and this is a lot closer does put some confidence in me. Endpoint, they have to be careful. This CT side was formidable from forZe. In fact, almost flawless up against Illuminar. So they have to try and take as many rounds as they can here on their defensive side, and then be very, very careful as they move into the second half. 2 quick kills found here in the 13th, and it's very much looking like Endpoint should be able to put their 7th on the board unless something goes horribly wrong.
Of course, it was a flawless half until Yakut's Law, which I'm still trying to repopularize, established itself. Of course, they won 10 rounds in a row. Obviously, lost a couple before the end. 50 seconds left, and this is such a slow stand. Flamescroft know that they're right above him. Will finally capitalize, finding one. Actually bailed out of trouble by Surreal there. And they've still got Robin to try and hold down the line. That's a lovely incendiary grenade. Buys a little bit of time for the rotate here. And they still need to watch away this CT spawn angle before Robin can actually deny that bomb from going down and away. CPAL watching into the jungle. Could even peek into Crucial's AWP. Easy shot to nail. And that leaves Warro in a much trickier situation to try and challenge the sniper. They will look towards the counter-terrorist spawn. They will take him out as a response. Endpoint, they take the lead. And what was looking like a very troubling half for them.
Yeah, big round for them to pick up. You know, Squid, I would like... Oh, okay, right. Well, parry match odds come up first.
What would you like?
Endpoint.
Would you like chocolate?
Endpoint of the favourites. I would like my own kind of thing that I'm remembered for. Like Yakut's Law. I'd like my own thing, like the M&J effect. Or the
M&J's law
or something.
Is it doesn't matter how much money you get, you'll never be happy in life. That's M&J's law.
M&J's law. It can't be called M&J's law, though. It has to be called, like, the M&J effect or something.
The M&J
effect. You can't just put law at the end of it.
Is the more money you get, the sadder you get?
The sadder you get. The less sleep you get.
That's true.
I don't think that one will catch on, you know. I think that's just called depression.
That might already be a thing.
Yeah, I reckon. But see, Yakut's law, that's cool. I need to just think of something smart.
What would your theorem be?
The
thing is, Yakut is smart. That's the reason why Pythagoras and Yakut can both have laws. We can't. You've got to do research and hours of knuckling down with the numbers. This might get interesting. Robin an off angle, and he loves these headshots. He's going to find 2 of them. Warro walks right into his crosshair. And Jerry's still on this A-bomb site. Will salvage an M4 for his troubles, but Robin's just sweeping away the rest. Look at that configuration from Endpoint. They find 3 kills in unison, and what looked like could be a forZe round with C-Power finding the openers is not going to go their way.
Well, not just a forZe round, it was very much looking like it was going to be a forZe half, and now that's just not the case whatsoever. Endpoint, they've secured the 8-7 at the very least. As they go into this 15th, they're only up against some pistols, a MAC-10, and that single AK-47 on Forrester. So I actually think there's a good chance here this one goes 9-6, unless this B-rush pays off.
Oh, and they're going to smoke those mollies perfectly. Get down onto this B-bomb site fairly early, and Mighty Mac's only able to sweep away 1. Surreal's off angle could pay dividends. 2 quick kills, and there's Split to follow. Quick half here from Endpoint to end things, and that will be number 9.
That's fantastic. They pick up the final 4 right at the end. Robin, he is putting up some big numbers as well. It feels like we haven't said his name all too much throughout this series and their map earlier on. But here on Mirage, he is just putting up a big, big fight.
So close to having another symmetrical scoreboard. We've had so many today.
Yeah, the one earlier was pretty, wasn't it? I think it was on train.
See the scoreboard again? I know that it's going to break the broadcast, but it was so close to being symmetrical. They're like, no, Squid, we don't want to break the HUD. I know how to troll production. You always ask for the scoreboard, and that breaks everything. The show just falls apart at the seams. Much like this pistol round, if they don't check for Flit inside the sandwich. This is a powerful angle. We saw Jerry using this pretty much every single time in the previous half. If Endpoint watch that best of one, they'll know it. They do. It's Robin to sweep away first. Even trading from the Glocks is they're doing the damage right now. Bomb can easily go down. forZe and Warrow, the stand-ins need to make a retake happen without a defuse kit in play. There might be one retrievable on the ground. I didn't notice, but with the Glocks placed around these corners, they've got to check for Mighty Max first. They do spot him, but there's the traded frag. Into the smoke for him as he'll sneak into the shadows. We see many of them on Mirage. Warrow needs a reload, does find one early, and now needs both headshots. It's not going to happen against the captain as Mighty Max rips his head off. 10-6.
Super important round for forZe to win, and well, not being able to do so means that Endpoint they're already on to double digits. 10-6. It is going to be a force buy here from the Russian side, and if it doesn't work out for them, this might be game over. And these parry match odds, they're starting to become more and more one-sided. Endpoint firm favourites right now. They're 1.18 to forZe's 4.5.
Yep, they're doing a Mr. Tumble impression.
I love Mr. Tumble.
Mr. Tumble. Deported, of course.
Oh, man.
Just ruined everybody's day.
Unbelievable.
Come on.
It's like the £1 fish man, bro.
Did he? He's gone as well.
Yeah, I mean,
But what about all of those bargains?
You know,
Where am
I was
supposed
promised.
to get my bargains for now?
I was promised for Christmas one year to go and see him at Dagenham Market because it's not far from where my dad lives.
Awful Christmas present.
And he was like my idol at the time, man. I loved him. And he was deported like a couple of weeks before. I was really upset. I was like, it's unbelievable. Didn't have a visa.
Haven't you thought that maybe people who don't see in person don't really exist?
I mean,
It's all
maybe.
fake. Because I don't know anybody who met him. And even if I did, maybe they're lying to me.
I could say that about a lot of people, though.
Apart from me, you met me, I'm real.
You are real. I can confirm you are real.
But how do the viewers know that?
Have you ever met Flames? It might not be real. Might be a
It
robot.
might not be real. Yeah, exactly. He could be a robot. Even if I did meet him, how do you know if he's not just got a face mask on with a robot underneath?
I think you'd be able to tell, no? We're not that far on with robots.
Supposedly, they can only code AI up to the point of like 1,000th of an ant's brain.
Really?
That's true. That's what Steve Wozniak of Apple said. I don't know if he might just be lying. This is what happens when you live your life in paranoia, M&J. You don't know who's real. You don't know anything. That is such a quick shot. Doesn't connect by a whisker there for C-Power. That's going to allow the MAC-10s closer. Here they come. It's Flames to find the first. C-Power with 2 of his own. And another one. That's a fast flick. Takes him down to 5 HP in the meantime. And with a minute 20, the clock's not going to be the issue, but the AWP certainly will be. Warrow, another quick shot as they get all 5 frags posted in. And that's the power of these double AWP setups.
The C-Power.
The
Some would
sea power. The power of the sea.
They call him Poseidon. That was awesome, though.
I
3
love
kills, and that's more than enough to hold up the site, isn't it?
Certainly is. 5 now the difference. The double AWP still rolling. And remember, barely anybody died there for forZe.
It does work wonders for their economy, but Warrow, a little bit overzealous, trying to make that jump over towards short. He's going to get caught out. So surreal, though. So comes into a 4-on-4. Flit wants to try and get through the smoke. How is Flames not connected? That one's still spamming away with the Glock. Desperate to find this frag. He's done so much damage. But Flit narrowly gets away with a slither of health. And that smoke placed as well. Doesn't even allow Crucial to trade it. As that flash comes in, he's going to drop. And this is perfect from forZe. I love this DT half.
How are they even in a 4 versus 2 right now? Flit and forZe are both on borrowed time. Their hourglasses are almost up. And with another headshot on this B-bomb site, might even be able to finish off the rest. Robin loves going for headshots in these scenarios, and he mustn't even know that forZe is this low. A lot of nade damage there. And this one is all crumbling. Gets tagged but not fragged. That's another one for forZe. A massive triple kill there on the B bomb site.
A round that could have gone very, very differently if a couple of kills had gone Endpoint's way, but instead, a lot of damage dealt. They just got super unfortunate. That's really the danger of playing around those smoke grenades. Sometimes it works out perfectly, and sometimes you just get damage, and that's it. So going into this 21st, it is going to be 12-8. And Endpoint, well, they still lead by 4, more than likely soon to be 3. So just hope for maybe a bomb plant here, maybe a bit of damage. Give them a bit of extra cash moving forward. That's what they could do with right now.
Bomb plant would definitely be important, but with already surreal gone and nobody on the B bomb site perhaps, only forZe inside the kitchen, this could actually give away at least that C4 going down if they can deal with him early. AK-47 in hand, best weapon to have in this scenario perhaps against 4 diving, darting terrorists. Flashbang forces him away and surely gets taken down here. Bomb can certainly go away now as Waro, he's been held at bay momentarily, does allow the C4 through, and that's all Endpoint were going for there. Extra money for their pockets. The kills only found onto forZe and nobody else. Morrow obviously keeps the AWP alive, or the M4 alive, and C-Power keeps the AWP in regard as well. No double AWP perhaps. forZe could definitely drop one here. They want to get it back out.
You actually see Flames there just dart for that AK towards bench. I have no idea how he even makes it that far. Unable to do much with it, though. This double AWP setup still in play here for forZe. They've actually got so much cash built up and winning those last couple of rounds as well. And having pretty flawless rounds on top of it really does mean that they can continue these buys. Endpoint right now, they still lead by 3. AWP in play. AK's all round. This utility pretty healthy, but this is really a must-win round for them. If this doesn't work out, forZe might actually be able to level out this scoreline, and we might just get a repeat of what we saw earlier against Illuminar. But Mighty Max opening things up nicely. That's Flick gone from the server, and a man advantage in their favour.
Absolutely gonzo. And C-Power now needs to bail them out of trouble, but with Surreal down below and not been spotted as of yet, these AWPs definitely in a little spot of danger. That incendiary as well is a telltale sign that forZe think that he's still inside of Underpass. So him being able to rummage that map control won't be able to find that secondary kill off the back of it, though.
Still this man advantage. Warrior getting aggressive towards apartments, though, and he's got that supporting factor of forZe there to help. Endpoint could get caught off guard. Surreal seems to be fully aware of it. He needs to be posted on the angle. He absolutely is. That's forZe gone. Warrior needs to fall away. If he drops right now, there's a problem. And oh, what a beautiful flick to open things up.
That drops the bomb and gives all of the information as well. So with Warro behind the bench, doubling up his frags, he's now going to get wrapped along from behind. His problems definitely haven't finished, and Crucial going to slam him in a shallow grave. He drops. Mighty Max a perfect angle, still not spotted with the smokes in place. Knows that Jerry's playing right around it. Doesn't find the shot though, and that is Mighty Max eliminated. Levels up the numbers. Jerry still with an opportunity with C-Power there's up to support. Robin though, fast maneuvement over, and C-Power surely can't get this one done. They know that he's the last man alive, and with an AWP, they don't even have to peek for a moment. C-Power just holds the angle, and might even just go down here. Needs to fall back, knowing that the money is fairly low on at least forZe. That'll allow him to drop him over and keep this double AWP alive, potentially. Doesn't even really need to save it here, but giving it away doesn't make much sense. I love the angle from Crucial, though. Bait him out. They must have some info here. 13-9 for Endpoint regardless. A must-win round, you said. Definitely for the economy at least. Certainly not the scoreline. They've got a 4-round lead.
Absolutely, yeah. And taking away that AWP wouldn't have even been massively impactful. They certainly would have been able to afford another one. This is just another full investment here from forZe. Endpoint right now just looking to win these rounds. Just looking to close this one out. They don't have much cash in the bank themselves, so really couldn't afford to lose that AWP or that AK. So another full investment here. Surreal, not a lot of money behind him, but of course he's got that AK, that Kevlar, and the helmet. In fact, no utility to work with, though. It comes down to what Flick can do here. Posted on this angle. They've actually got a double defense towards Connector. Perfect flashbang. That's going to force C-Power right out. And Flit just trying to play around this smoke. Knows that he has to be careful without the support of his teammate. No, that smoke just lands in the nick of time. This is just the coordination here from Endpoint right now. As soon as they know that it's vulnerable, they throw that smoke and the Molotov comes in. That's Flit gone.
Yeah, and when you can find a kill like that just off the back of utility usage, such a massive advantage. This is as well, the flank. It does get found without any kills going forZe's way. So dropping C-Power now becomes a massive problem as Waro frantically tries to tap through that wall. Support from Jerry on this A bomb site, but even more Molotovs can take him away here. If they decide to throw them, Surreal doesn't. A fully blind shot from the AK, and that puts clutching at straws to deny this bomb. He can't do it. That gives away the whole of this A bomb site, and Endpoint certainly going to be up to 14 off the back of this. Surreal hunting for these final rifles. He'll almost find one. Knows exactly where the M31S is playing from, and the AWP's also been spotted as well. Waro needs this shot to bail out of the A towards this B bomb site, and he does. Surreal misses both of those. I hear that chat ticking. We might be going for a pause after this one, but 14-9. And forZe now needs 7 in a row to close this out in regulation. 6 out of 7 will be OT.
(14-9). forZe have definitely been struggling in these last couple. With those 2 rifles saved, they will actually be able to... Oh, will they be able to go for a full investment in the next? I think Jerry might be struggling for cash a little bit, but other than that, they will have a buy. Maybe he just gets demoted down to that FAMAS. But this will definitely be the last buy. So if Endpoint actually win this round, forZe are in a horrible position. Their opponents will be on match point. They'll need 6 in a row. They'll have no cash to contest with. If Endpoint win this one, they pretty much win the series. And Waro, oh, that is such a nice start.
And it seems to always be the double AWPs bailing them out of trouble. They don't need to overpeak off the back of that 2-man advantage. But Blitz certainly wants to go into mid once again. With players stuck behind the boxes, of course they have got a spot of cover. Now Waro does as well, being forced back by the flames. Still 2 mollies to be played. A pair of smokes as well for Endpoint. So plenty of utility, but not plenty of players. This is a 4v3.
Crucial with this AWP on the angle, Jerry to contend with the FAMAS, but watching 2 positions at once. As soon as this AWP peaks, you'd expect him to hit the shot, but Jerry's too quick. Snappy headshot found. This is looking like forZe's round for the taking. They could take this one 14-10. And all of a sudden, that lifeline gained, and they might be able to get back into this one.
Certainly could, and with Flit inside the window room, this is a hard angle to hold. Flames just tries to take the advantage, doesn't he? He always does, but in these 2vx situations, sometimes he is that pivotal voter. You always need to take a risk. This one doesn't pan out. Should be a good round here from forZe. One that they needed, of course. They need every single one of these opportunities from here on out. And with the AWP placed, doesn't even need it. forZe is able to sweep Mighty Max away, and that will be forZe again up towards double digits. We saw a close-ish map of Train, 16-11. Of course, that first half, it almost felt over as of that 8-1 lead. Mirage has been more hotly contested at the start, but 14-10 in Endpoint, they could certainly do it again.
They absolutely could. They've got the money to work with here. Flames with that deagle in hand. You talked earlier about the fact that sometime promoting him down to that deagle just works even better for him. We've seen him in some of these rounds hit some sensational shots as they up the pace, as they push into this A site. Well, the CT's posted a pretty solid defense.
They have been traded in the meantime, so a couple of kills gives away the bomb plant, and with C-Power finding that shot onto Mighty Max, that might be the important one to actually get done. A 1 versus 3 here from Crucial, stuck at the back of this A bomb site. Incendiary forces him into the open for the double AWPs to rip him apart. It's forZe up to 11, as we are seeing a repeat performance of this powerful CT side.
Very powerful indeed. 3 away from closing up this scoreline now, as they will just face up against what I assume will just be a couple of pistols here from Endpoint. So that'll be 14-12, and all of a sudden, it's not so one-sided anymore. forZe, not only could they bring this back to OT, they could actually take this one in regulation unless Endpoint pulls something out the bag soon. This is going to be early presence towards mid. They want to try and get themselves a 1-dig. C-Power just missing that AWP shot. What do they go for here? Just kills? Maybe a bomb plant?
Yeah, if they can get a bomb plant, that'll definitely be beneficial, especially for Robin, who's got much less money than the rest. He invested into Kevlar. Of course, loves these 4 spy rounds. Flames, he will just flirt with C-Power's AWP. Don't want to be taking that on a date. A bit too big. Of course, Flip. That's the angle. This one should just be a mow down, and, well, the Eagle do get taken away. Flip sometimes just steps up like that, doesn't he? Even if it's against the pistols, it's way harder than it looks.
It absolutely is, yeah. Flip. Bam, bam, bam. All the headshots that you can find. And, well, looking at this banner right up on the screen, it's Power Match. Click on that banner below if you do want that bonus. And you do bet over on Power Match, of course. Plenty of games to be played in the EDC still, and we've still got this one to conclude.
Yeah, this is, of course, the first day of our main tournament as we burst into Group A. We've got Counter-Strike coming up all week. We obviously start by finding our first playoffs participants. Likely going to be Endpoint if they can close off this map. Obviously, that would be a guarantee. Surreal, I love this angle. Will they check it, though? This might end the map in its tracks, and forZe won't let it. Great headshot. That staying power from the CTs. As Endpoint still want to go towards B. Spotting out a pair of players, expecting the rotate. They've read it perfectly. Just the AWP to try and take this one away. It's Waro, who we can see is nicknamed Cyclone. And he has been somewhat of one this map. 18 kills, most of which been with that sniper. And as he spots out the gun barrel, there's a collateral. That pretty much instantaneously ends the round. Should be able to find even more here. Robin does take him down. That's a lovely shot, but doesn't give away the B bomb site whatsoever. A lovely tag through from the sniper rifle as Robin gets eliminated. forZe making this one incredibly close. Imagine having back-to-back 16-14s on Mirage. That would be very clutch in the Russian squad. Love that collat.
It absolutely would, as Endpoint drop down to the pistols, looking like they are actually going to try and play this one in next. So, should go 14-14, and as you mentioned, there are so many scenarios, just like in that round, where a small play, maybe an Angel going one way, not the other, completely turns the tides of the match, and Surreal was in one of those positions, had one of those opportunities where if he converts that double, all of a sudden it's back in contention. Then it's the pistol to try and get the job done, and well, they're putting up a lot of damage.
As they often do in these scenarios, it feels like Endpoint always do so much damage, and I think that flick even surprised Mighty Max. Wasn't expecting to nail it, and going towards short once again. Remember, Jerry is only on 19 points of health, and if Endpoint actually pull this round off, that would be a massive lifeline. It would secure them overtime, and surely he has no idea that Jerry's on low HP. That's why he's keeping the AWP in hand, just wriggling around these pillars on the B bomb site, as Jerry is taking an absolute lifetime to get over towards this one. He does have a kit. The C4 will become a pressure. You see that red bar at the top. It is starting to tick ever so faster. Mighty Max aggressive angle. Still AWP in hand. I would prefer the pistol, but he doesn't care. Finds it. That's 15. And what a flick to even get himself into that scenario.
What a hell of a round for Endpoint to pick up. Obviously, we've talked so many times throughout this series about just how dangerous they can be on a pistol buy like that. But to win it when the pressure's there in round 28 of the second map of the series puts you on to match point. Best case scenario here for forZe is they take this one to OT, and they need 2 in a row to do so. Double up setup out once again. They've got these rifles to support it. Morrow playing up close and personal towards this ramp. No one contesting him just yet. Endpoint prioritizing mid control.
They certainly are. 2 chances. This one going to be slower with the smokes placed. Endpoint don't want to give away those opening frags, which has been the commonality in a lot of these performances. And with Surreal sweeping away the first headshot, that's C-Power getting aggressive once again. Doesn't work out for him this time.
Even if they don't do anything with this B-bomb site, they've really stirred up the defense. They've initiated some rotation, they've initiated some aggression towards ramp. It does work out for forZe, but a lot of damage taken, and now they've been completely outmaneuvered. Endpoint can run their way up short, And now forZe needs to hold up this line.
He's got no support from apartments as well. Endpoint don't have anybody here. This will be the single-pronged attack, and with Flitz spotted, he'll draw the attention from forZe and even use this smoke to support his entry in. It's a headshot to finish, and forZe somehow bring this to all 30 rounds. We could be going to overtime here as well, Josh. You see the instant rifle investment from Endpoint, but what can they purchase? It's going to be a ragtag buy.
It absolutely will be. There's enough on Crucial to go for that AWP. Mighty Max and Surreal didn't have too little cash in the bank, I suppose. But yeah, Robin demoted down to that Desert Eagle. A couple of rifles come out, certainly not as strong as forZe. They've got a huge firepower advantage here. I'd like to see a little bit of a change of pace, change of strategy is Crucial. Oh, not quite connecting that shot in the B apartments. 3 players stacked up towards a ramp. I think they do want to go for this later round A hit.
That certainly seems to be the case, and that's going to be off the back of this Galil from Flames. From the underpass, if he can potentially win this duel against Flit, that would open up everything, and he's got to be hyper aware of this angle. You can see he is. He's flirting with the peak, but Flit, he's even got nades in hand, can easily throw them. That's going to be the kill from above. Flames with 1, cannot connect onto Flit, so he's lurking and lingering inside the connector for Mighty Max to do even more damage. A 180-degree spray down. He transfers onto Flit, and that might be the map over. The bomb doesn't go down in a way. That incendiary grenade is going to delay them further. They aren't aware of the flank, so as forZe moves through, it's crucial to nail another one and force him into an impossible 1 versus 3. They've got Surreal from CT, and how does forZe get the job done this time? He's got no idea where Endpoint are playing from, and they might have just done it. A 2-0 converted as Robin's headshot is able to get the job done. Map over, series over. It's Endpoint 2-0.
What a masterful couple of rounds there from Endpoint. They take that effective force buy. Then in that final round, it wasn't looking like it was theirs for the taking. They didn't have a lot of equity in it. They were down to the Deagle, the Galils, and limited utility, especially at the start of that one too. They'd taken the casualties, and then Mighty Max. How on earth does he do something like that? The 180 double kill, and that's just about enough to tip it over the edge. Endpoint, they take it 2-0, and I mean, it couldn't be more deserved. That's so fantastic. They've played superb today.
That is so clutch, isn't it? How many years have we been seeing UK teams maybe get to the 14 or 15 rounds, and that is where they fall at the final hurdle? In this series, big money on the line, of course, $30,000 for each of these championships in much shorter tournaments than you'd imagine as well, with the best of 1s and best of 3s. They really come in clutch in this one. We'll have a look at that ladder. Of course, Endpoint, your first participants towards the playoffs. Obviously, we've still got that elimination match to play. That'll be coming up tomorrow at 10 o'clock CET. Illuminar versus Budapest 5. The winner then going on to play against forZe for that second spot in the playoffs. Hard series that'll be. And that will conclude Group A. But much more to be played. Of course, we've got 4 groups in total that'll be taking place all week. So if you want to bet on any of those matches, of course, you can go to Paramatch. Obviously, we've got great partners all the way down below, Hellcase being another one. And of course, you've been watching the European Development Championships, all brought to you by Gaming Malta, home of gaming excellence. I'm so proud of Endpoint every time I see them pull off one of these bigger series as well. Of course, playing against a team like forZe, 2 stand-ins, definitely a lot of skill there.
Absolutely, yeah. You've got to just be happy with a win against forZe, even if you're any team in the world. Unless you're one of the top 10, a win against forZe is a big result. And for a side like Endpoint that are just trailing and actually really in contention with forZe for one of those kind of top 30 spots, or not top 30, they're both in the top 30, but sort of want to try and overtake them, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of contention there for both sides. And for Endpoint to take a 2-0 win like that, they're certainly going to go to bed happy. Yeah,
and you've obviously been seeing on Twitter, on social media, players like Mighty Max, that top 30 spot, so hard contended for. They've been playing for that top 30 spot for months and months and months and years when you kind of put it into perspective. So it definitely means a lot to them to be in that top 30 as well. So big wins like this really do matter for a team like this, and obviously just breezing their way through to the playoffs. Congratulations to them. We'll see 8 teams in total get to those playoffs through the majority of this week. So don't go very far, because we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.